Welcome once again to a Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. I'm Steve Gamache, and what we have this time is the Kobayashi SG2 Gyuto 240mm knife. So this line of knives uses a core steel of SG2 powdered metallurgy full stainless steel. It's very similar to the R2 PM stainless steel. Heat treats around 62 Rockwell on that core steel. And the construction is 3 layers, so on either side of that harder core steel that's in the center, for the cutting edge, you've got a soft stainless cladding, so it's an all stainless knife. And seeing so many knives as I have over the recent years, I don't get too impressed when I pull something out of the box all the time, and these were really impressive. I was quite taken with the fit and finish and the grind on them and the overall quality, the handle. It's just a really excellent execution from this maker. So we'll take a close-up look at these features and the performance and such. The weight and dimensions should be pretty similar from knife to knife, but this particular one is 176 grams or 6.2 ounces. The edge length is right about 240 millimeters or 9.4 inches. The overall length is about 390 millimeters or 15.3 inches. And the spine thickness, they've got just enough thickness to give some contour to the grind. So I get about 2¼ millimeters coming out of the handle, and then maybe 2.1, 2.15-ish halfway down. And then we just kind of thin down with a really awesome distal taper that's consistent down to the tip. That tip gets pretty thin on this. This is kind of the big brother to the 210, so it's just not quite as whisper thin as that, but it's very thin nonetheless. And they also thin these down quite a bit towards the edge. So the performance, these are laser class grinds on these things all the way. Blade height is 52.5. It's a generous height. You've got a kind of a medium width neck on this. You can see a fairly gradual curve to the choil there into the neck. And so plenty of clearance there for, a pinch grip for the cutting board. The handles are somewhat unique, very nicely done. They are heptagonal or 7-sided, so they don't have that flat facet at the bottom. And they've also got a little bit of a taper to these sides towards the bottom. And it's kind of a rounded type, squarish type shape. The handles feel really good in the hand. They're about 70 millimeters in circumference, about right here. And they've put a high quality, very smooth lacquer finish overall. The handle, including the top front, with a tight glue up on there. So, these are very well completely sealed up, and the lacquer feels nice. It'll have some grip when wet, but it's got just a little bit of tack to it. Let's see here. The fit and finish on these is very good. Get our kind of beauty shot here. It's a little hard to show with all the different reflections, but we'll go with that. So I think you can see the core steel peeking out from the edge with the grind down towards that edge there where it thins out. And they've got some chiseled engraved kanji on there on the right side of the blade. You can see vertical machining marks on it. The left side of the blade is plain. Again, pretty good look at the edge there. So nice fit and finish on these. They've polished the spine quite a bit and rounded it a little bit. They've done a really nice job polishing and relieving the choil. It's very high polish. They put a lot of time in on these for the finish work. Out of the box edge was a solid 6 out of 10. Definitely could get a little sharper, but it was a good serviceable out of the box edge from a sharpness perspective. Nice and straight blades. Let's see, the balance point with that handle is going to be right about there on this knife, which is pretty doggone close to my particular pinch grip. So it's kind of a neutral balance point. And it's 6.2 ounces, but it feels lighter than that because of that neutral balance point. Let's take a look at the edge profile. These have a bit of an upsweep towards the tip. So they've got a little bit of a flat towards the back. And you can kind of see that flat there, a little bit of a back belly you can rotate into, but there's a little bit of a flat area back there for chopping. It definitely doesn't kind of slam in anything because you can keep kind of going and get to the very back heel. And then they've got a fairly gentle belly, which gets a little more aggressive. You can see the tip's a little bit higher, so that'll get me up pretty doggone high on a rock. So this thing will rock like crazy, and you can get over pretty high stuff with this thing, but yet it's got a little bit of a flattish area at the back. So again, compared to some 240s, it's got a little higher nose to it, and so that gives you a little more aggressive belly towards the tip. but just a good overall profile that should accommodate a wide variety of techniques. So these are just impressive. The fit and finish is impressive. The quality, the craftsmanship on them, the handle's really cool. It's just a neat package that Mark brought in. So this is the Kobayashi SG2 Gyuto 240mm knife.